In this video, we'll talk about conditional statements. Sometimes you want to execute code conditionally, that is, only if certain things are true about the state of your program. This allows us to make decisions programmatically. Python provides a variety of comparison operators: greater than, less than, equal to, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, or not equal to. Comparisons allow us to write conditional expressions like x less than y or grade greater than or equal to b. Each of these expressions evaluates to a Boolean, true or false, depending on the values of x, y, and grade at that point in the execution of your program. Once you have conditional expressions, you can make decisions about what code to execute with if-else statements. Here's an example. An if statement has the if keyword, followed by a conditional expression and a colon, followed by a then clause, which is indented one level. Optionally, you can have an else keyword followed by a colon, and an otherwise clause also indented. Let's execute this code and write the output. We will begin with a function call to main and execute statements there. The first statement involves a function call to f. We'll mark the call site, pass in values 3 and 4 for f's parameters x and y, and we reach an if statement. To know what to do now, we need to evaluate 3 less than 4, which is true, so we will execute statements in the then clause. We print the string x less than y, and then return y plus x, which is 7, to our call site. Destroy f's frame, assign 7 to a, and execute the next statement. It's another function call to f, so we'll make a frame for f, passing the value of a, which is 7 for x and 5 for y. This time when we evaluate the conditional expression, 7 less than 5 is false, so we will skip the if block and execute statements in the otherwise block. We print the string x less than equal to y, and then we find another if statement. We evaluate 7 greater than 8, which is false, so we will skip this if statement. There's no else statement. So it's nice to write pass, which actually means do nothing. And our program would execute in exactly the same way if that line were not there, but because there's no else block, it tells our editor that we're done writing this if statement, and the next line should be not indented. It helps you avoid making mistakes. Then we'll return x minus 2, which is 5, assign 5 to b, and we are finished executing statements in main. You can also use 0 or more elif statements to indicate else if. For example, in this code, you see the elif keyword, followed by a conditional expression, x equals 0, and then a do block that will only be executed if the conditional x less than 0 is false and the elif conditional x equals 0 is true. You can also use logical operators to combine Booleans in logical ways. We have and, or, and not. X and y evaluates to true if x and y are both true and false otherwise. X or y evaluates to true if either x or y is true and false if they're both false. Finally, we have not x, which evaluates to true if x is false and false if x is true.